guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Villarreal versus Barcelona in La Liga. Barcelona are back after a very short break because there's no midweek game due to Real Madrid playing in the Club World Cup. We should have played the Copa del Rey semi-final, but we didn't. We got a little cheeky extra week off, but now the relentless schedule begins. For the next month or so, we're going to be playing Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday every single week, and it's going to be absolutely crazy. But it all starts away at Villarreal, where Barcelona have the opportunity to go top of the table by a double-digit distance. Before we get into it, make sure you guys smack that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 9 p.m. local time, so regular kickoff time in La Liga, and this match will be taking place at the Estadio de la Ceramica, one of the most difficult and most historic stadiums in La Liga. Over the past few seasons, Barca's record there hasn't been too bad, but nonetheless, it is still very difficult to travel to and also pick up 3 points. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the pitch will be Alejandro Hernandez. On the VR, it will be Santiago Jamilatea. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table, where Barcelona currently sit top of La Liga on 53 points. After playing 20 matches, we have 17 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. This record is absolutely astonishing. If you look at our last 5 games in the leagues, nothing but 3 points. But it is different, of course, on the other side at second place with Real Madrid, who currently sit on 45 points. After playing 20 matches, they have 14 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. Look at their last 5 games in the league, 2 losses, a draw, and 2 wins. So Barcelona currently sit 8 points clear at the top of La Liga. No games in hand, nothing like that. 8 points flat out. So Estadio on 39 points, Atletico Madrid sit on 35 points. Who cares about them? We're of course going for the coveted crown of La Liga, but there is a big factor to consider this weekend, because if you take a look at the top teams that will be facing this weekend, Atletico Madrid will travel to Celta Vigo. Who cares? Real Sociedad will be traveling to Estadio to Barcelona. Who cares? But Real Madrid will be playing Elche midweek on Wednesday. Of course, we play tomorrow, Sunday, so we're going to be playing their game about 72 to 70 hours before they play their game. That's going to be a big thing, because if Barcelona do win, we will go 11 points clear at the top of the table, temporarily, of course, because they had to play their game in hand. But with Elche, facing Elche at home, Elche, the worst team in the league, they will win that game. I have no doubt about that. But the pressure will be there. They'll go in there saying maybe they'll win the Club World Cup, whatever, or they lose it. They'll be traveling back on the airplane thinking, we're 11 points behind Barcelona right now. The pressure that will put on Real Madrid is absolutely crazy. Being in the lead by double digits is ridiculous, and Barcelona had that opportunity. Will they do it? Hopefully. It's not going to be easy. We have a very, very difficult task against Villarreal, but the opportunity is there. With Real Madrid going to be playing a lot of games over the next few months. They have the Club World Cup, Copa del Rey semi-final, Champions League. They're playing Elche midweek. Then they got to go put Champions League, Liverpool, then us. So it's going to be vigorous for them as it is vigorous for us. But we do have an opportunity to capitalize on this opportunity, because if they win the Club World Cup, they'll be traveling back, happy, big morale boost. But then they're on the plane, gonna have to prepare for a game midweek against Elche, where they're 11 points behind Barcelona. So that's going to be a big, big opportunity for the club. By the way, see if we can get there. But again, Barcelona in the league so far, pure domination, and hopefully it continues. Now, if you take a look at our opponents in Villarreal and where they're currently standing in the league table, they are currently sat in 6th place in La Liga in the Conference League position on 31 points. After playing 20 matches, they do have 9 wins, 4 draws, and 7 losses. You look at their last 5 games in the league, it is 2 losses, 2 wins, and 1 draw. So overall this season, they're at the area where you expect them to be, 6th, 5th, 4th, fighting for those European competition spots. Of course, one of their rivals, Real Madrid, just nearly close behind them as well. So they're doing well this season so far. Of course, they haven't exceeded expectation, but they're not underperforming, as it did change manager during the middle of the season. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Villarreal. Like I mentioned, so far this season, they're doing fairly well for their expectation, but they did have a big change mid-season, and that is when their former manager should I say, Unai Emery, did leave his post as a manager. And the last time we faced Villarreal this season in the first leg, during the season at the Camp Nou, we beat them 3-0. That was under, of course, Unai Emery, who was the manager, where Barcelona scored 3 goals in the space of 9 minutes to guarantee all 3 points. As seen from the lineup, we did have some injury problems at this time. No Dembele, no Raphinha. There was also, of course, no Araujo, no Christensen. So the back line was a bit, shaky, but it was at home. Kept the clean sheet, got the 3 points, and that's all what matters. But now we're basically facing a new team because a new manager, new tactics, new system. So it's not really a game to go off of when you have a manager change. If Unai Emery is still here, you can definitely look at this game and analyze it for sure. They still have the same personnel, Villarreal, to retrospect that, but with the new manager coming in, it does change a lot of tactical plans from the Barcelona point of view. Now, if you take a look at Villarreal's last 5 matches in all competition, in their last match, they lost 3-1 to Elche, who are by far, by the way, the worst team in this league. They also lost 1-0 to Rayo Vallecano, who of course currently sit, I think, in 5th or 4th place in La Liga. They beat Girona 1-0. They lost to Real Madrid in the Cup 3-2 after leading 2-0, and they drew with Celta Vigo 1-1. So let's take a look at those last 3 games in all competition. Firstly is that 1-0 win against Girona at the La Ceramica Stadium. They played very well in this game. They did dominate. It was at the point where Girona were having an unbeaten streak. I think they went like 8 games unbeaten. It was a close game. Then Danny Parejo got a penalty in the 98th minute. I think they got a penalty in the 9th minute. Then Gerard Moreno missed it. Danny Parejo took the second one in the 98th minute. Took Girona's streak away. And of course, at that time, Villarreal had a streak of their own under Setien, and they walked away with all 3 points. Next match, of course, where the streak ended, where they lost 1-0 to Rayo Vallecano at the La Ceramica Stadium again. Rayo Vallecano, a very underdog team this season. They're playing so well, and this was a very, very close game. Both teams going for it, back and forth, back and forth. There was end-to-end football, but in the end, it was Rayo Vallecano who were under finish their chances better. Villarreal had the more of the chances since they're being at home, but they just weren't clinical on the night. And finally, the big shock, in my opinion, their 3-1 loss to Elche, the worst team in this league. They're coming in, Villarreal, to this match needing a bounce back. This is not going to be, it's Barcelona, let's just let them slide. They just lost to the worst team in the league. 3-1. Not like a, 2-1 or a 1-0 jammy goal. They lost comfortably 3-1 to the worst team in the league. They had a fairly good lineup on the night. They had Pedri in goal, Juan Foyth, Raul Albiol, Jorge Cuenca, former Barcelona player, of course, Mojica, midfield 3, Dani Parejo, Capoue, and Buena, and then up front 3, Chukwueze, Gerard Moreno, and Yeremy Pino. So a very, very strong team, one of their strongest lines they could actually field out, and they still ended up losing. So they're coming into this match on very, very poor form, back-to-back losses, and this match was a pure embarrassment for the Yellow Submarines. So overall, final thoughts on Villarreal. They're of course a very, very strong team on paper, have good squad, good players, and they also have a good manager in, of course, Quique Setien, the former Barcelona manager. Only 3 years ago, he was coaching Barcelona, and now he is back in La Liga. There's going to be that fact, of course, he wants to come prove a point, all that sort of stuff, wasn't given the time, blah, blah, blah. Jordi Alba even came out doing an interview, I believe, with Marca, saying that Setien didn't have time, all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of written in the stars for Setien to do a job in this game, but we can't let that shadow our performance as well. He's going to come there with a goal, and that's to take all 3 points off Barcelona. Having these kind of stories always put extra pressure on the game, and this is absolutely no different. Now, in terms of players to look out for, they have a very, very strong squad, of course. I look out for a few players. Firstly, Dani Parejo in the midfield, who has been linked with Barcelona, one of their better players. Gerard Moreno always does a job against us. There's no Pique there to shut him up this time, so we're going to have to rely on Kounde, Araujo, and Christensen, and also Alejandro as well. Their defense, Juan Foyth, of course, been linked with Barcelona as well. Jorge Cuenca, former Barcelona player as well, former Academy player. He wants to prove a point. They have a good midfielder in Capoue as well, Raul Albiol. Very, very experienced team here. Yeremy Pino and Chukwueze. Chukwueze always turns into, prime Garincha against us. It is absolutely ridiculous. The man has always turned into a world-class player every time he plays us, so the quality is there in the team. The question is whether or not they turn up or not, especially in a away game like this. Barcelona have to do is control the game, control that midfield, and you gotta be clinical in this match as well. Of course, we gotta have a full-strength team. In the attack, you could say, barring, of course, Ousmane Dembele. So the attack has to be super, super clinical on the night, because against Villarreal at home, you won't get that many chances. Now, with us reaching the halfway point of the season in La Liga, yellow card suspension is very, very crucial to watch out for, and there are currently a bunch of players and manager as well who are 1 yellow card away from suspension. There are 2 who are currently not fit for this game, and that is Sergio Busquets and Ousmane Dembele. They are both 1 yellow card away from suspension. They won't get that, of course, in this match, but Araujo, Gavi, Ferran Torres, and also the manager, Xavi Hernandez, are all 1 yellow card away from suspension. If they pick up a yellow card in this match, they will be suspended for the next weekend match in La Liga. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start for the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best with this lineup. I think it will be very easy to predict, barring, of course, 1 or 2 changes. We had a full rest midweek. He will go full strength, Xavi, no doubt about that. The question is, the team does need a switch here and there. Will he make that change, and where will he do? What will he put in? I think he'll go with this lineup on the screen right now. I think he'll go with Ter Stegen in goal, a back 4 of Kounde, Araujo, Christensen, Alejandro Balde, midfield 3 of Frenkie de Jong, Kessie, and Pedri, and a front 3 of Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Gavi. Now, with Busquets out, it does leave the big question. Will Xavi go with the traditional 4-3-3 with 2 natural wingers, or will he stick with Gavi in the wing and bring in a midfielder? I think he will do the latter. I think he will bring in Kessie for Busquets, drop Pedri and de Jong to have him almost as a double pivot, have Kessie more advanced, and keep Gavi at the left wing. Of course, the other option is to bring Gavi to the actual midfield and then play Ansu Fati as a winger, or maybe even Ferran Torres. But I think Xavi will stick with the 4 midfield system. Can he make that change? I think so. I think it will come down to what he expects from Villarreal. Can he put anyone in other than Kessie? I mean, he could put in Pablo Torre, but that would be a risk beyond belief. He could play Roberto in the midfield. I would not be surprised if he did that. I think that's probably actually a more likely option than the front Kessie now that I'm thinking about it. But I'm hoping he goes with Kessie because he did play very well against Sevilla when he made that cameo appearance, had that beautiful assist. You want to back that, of course, give the player confidence and momentum. But he could play Roberto in the midfield. He could even play Roberto in the pivot and then put Frenkie de Jong on the right. I would not be surprised like that as well. But I think it's very more likely that Xavi goes with the 4 midfield than the natural winger in Ferran Torres or Ansu Fati. And that's the lineup I think that Xavi Hernandez will select for this match. But of course, let me know what you think Xavi's going to go with down in the comments below. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was a Barcelona coach. Of course, we talked about it in the last section. There's a 50-50 what to do. Do you go with natural wingers or do you go with the 4 midfield? I have decided to go myself with the wingers. I would start Ansu Fati and then I'd have a midfield 3 of de Jong, Gavi, and Pedri. Same back 5, of course, and same striker and right winger. My thought process is this. Villarreal going to have a 4 midfield as well. They're going to be very, very compact, very, very strong. So what you want to do, in my opinion, is stretch the play. Go wide, make Ansu and for Raphinha go 1v1 with the fullbacks, Alberto Moreno and Juan Foyth, take them on, and then have Lewandowski in the middle to attract the defenders, of course, as the center back, and make those spaces in behind. Of course, the thing is, right, with Kessie or Roberto, whatever the case may be, there is a risk because they're not really match fit in the sense they're not starting week in, week out. Neither is Ansu Fati, to be fair, but Ansu Fati does come on every single game, where from Kessie and Roberto, luckily sometimes come on a game here and there. So that's my thought process. I wouldn't be upset if Xavi went with the 4 midfield, but personally for me, I'd go with the wingers. And also, with all the room around Ansu Fati, I'd be like, all right, back it up on the pitch. Here you go. There's now reports, I think ESPN, Samuel Mars, and Moise Lawrence came out saying that, Ansu Fati is 1,000% fit, 1,000% recovered from his injury. It's now all depending on his confidence, all that sort of stuff. So I'll put his money where his mouth is. I'll start Ansu Fati and then see how he does. And that's not that I would select for this match. But of course, let me know in the comments below. Would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? My heart says we're going to win, of course, but my brain is saying this match will end in a draw, whether it's 0-0, 1-1, or 2-2. If the manager was anyone else but Setien or Ronald Koeman, I would back us to win, but the story is, really cemented in my head. Setien comes and, screws over Barcelona. The thing is, right, we're on an unbelievable run. I think, 10 games unbeaten in the league, 10 wins in a row, something crazy like that. And it's bound to end. We cannot do this from now until the end of the season. Of course, we have the Europa League coming up. We got the Copa del Rey as well. The schedule is too demanding, and there's going to be points dropped at some point. I think now with an 8-point lead, there is some wiggle room to at least have a draw. Then, of course, Madrid will play on Wednesday, midweek. It still puts pressure on them, even for 9 points clear of them. So I think that all plays a factor, of course, but I do think that Barcelona can win this game. I think there's a higher chance that Barcelona win this game than Villarreal, but I do think the draw percentage is fairly high. I'm praying to God we win. I do believe that we can win, but my brain is saying that this match will end in a draw. But of course, let me know your score predictions down in the comments below. So that was my match preview for Villarreal versus Barcelona in La Liga. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to know firstly, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? What do you think Xavi would go with? What would you go with? You're the manager. Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. fall straight for the match about match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead. It is the start, of course, of a vigorous schedule, and hope we can start off with 3 big points. Take care and Forza Barca.